we got to get over to the left coast. We got to get over to UCLA because the Bruins, Ashton, were back in action tonight after a 25-day layoff, after a COVID pause, after having, I believe it was 3 games that were scheduled that had to end up having the plug pulled on them because of COVID issues within other programs. We finally saw the Bruins back in action. They won against Long Beach State. It was 96-78. Jules Bernard, who's going to join us here in a couple minutes, finished with 22 points. The Bruins made 14 threes. Ashton, did we forget about these guys? They're coming off a Final Four. They were a preseason top 5 team. Did we forget just how good this group is?
I think so. And it's that winning pedigree that Mick Cronin brings. You talk about Johnny Juzang. I love Tiger Campbell at the helm. And just that pedigree, that toughness that Mick Cronin has had even since his Cincinnati days. Overall, this is easily one of the best teams in the country just because of their pedigree, their approach to the game. They really defend, and they can make shots. They really make shots. Johnny Juzang is one of the top players in the country to me. And Tiger Campbell just running the helm. I think late shot clock, he can create not only for himself, but for others as well. And Miles Johnson, cleaning up the boards and really changing shots around the basket defensively as well is really what separates them to me.
They really missed Cody Riley when they played that game against Gonzaga and got, their teeth kicked in. They really missed him. He was so important to them in their Final Four run. Now that he's back, this is a dangerous team.
Yeah, I feel like you've been listening to Sean Miller. I think that he said that probably 25 times on whatever platform he's been on the Field of 68, that Cody Riley's been such a missing piece. It gives him a different dynamic, right? Miles Johnson is that big defensive presence at the 5. Cody Riley's a guy you could throw the ball to on the block and know you're either going to get a bucket or have somebody draw a foul. And he's finally healthy now at this point. Sweeney, how hard is it, do you think, for teams to kind of come off of these pauses? They haven't played for so long. You got to get back into the rhythm. You got to find a way to get back into shape. You had to deal with the whole isolation thing again. Like, is that? I think that we're kind of underrating how difficult that's going to be. We saw it with Baylor last year. It took them weeks to get back into the flow. Do you think there's going to be conference races that are decided by teams that are just, trying to get back into shape?
I think absolutely. The combination of you're trying to get back in shape, and in some cases, you're now scheduling games on really short notice, and you're tearing up the scouting report and putting together a new one on a 2-day turnaround. So I just think it's really challenging for these teams. And I think for UCLA, I mean, they thought they were going to be able to come out of this pause a couple times, to face a team, and then that team pops positive just as UCLA gets clean. I think that, that challenge will be there. The other thing is there's going to be a lot of games that get rescheduled into February. I think that's something to watch as well. As schedules really load up, you see a team have to play 6 games in 12 days or something like that. Probably going to lose one you shouldn't when you play that many games in a short amount of time. So there's going to be some wacky results that definitely swing from conference races.
Yeah, you talk about games getting rescheduled. This is for all of the people in the Pac-12 office. Please make sure that we get 2 games between USC and UCLA, 2 games between Arizona and USC, and 2 games between Arizona and UCLA this season. You have to make that happen. Let them play 3 times each. Let them play 4 times each. Make the Pac-12 conference play just a round robin between those 3 teams. Look, I know for a fact, I checked it the other day, it's a 2-hour drive from Tucson to the UCLA campus. 2 hours. That's all it takes to get from one campus to the other. So let's make this happen. I teased it a little bit earlier. We have Jules Bernard. He joined us from courtside at Pauley Pavilion. We were able to hear from him and talk to him a little bit about what he's dealt with the COVID pauses, with this break, and how it's impacted this team moving forward. So we're going to run that interview right now. Now, let me welcome on to After Dark Jules Bernard from UCLA, who had 22 points tonight. Jules, first and foremost, man, you guys are finally back on the court playing games. How good does that feel?
It feels great, finally to get a game on the belt. A few of our games got canceled after our quarantine. So, being able to play Long Beach, they have great players. So it was a great game to get on our belt. And now we're looking forward to, our games in the future.
How frustrating is that? You go through the prep for a game, you get the scout done, you're supposed to be playing something, all of a sudden it just kind of disappears like that. So how difficult is that to kind of handle? Or is it just, we've been through everything the last 2 years, kind of roll with the punches at this point?
A little bit of both. Last year we were kind of used to it. This year, it kind of felt like we were getting back to normal a little bit. And then, things happened. But it's tough. We know our coaches are, they have a lot of connections and stuff. So we know they're going to be trying to get us a game as soon as possible. So, obviously we got this game. Unfortunately it wasn't Wednesday, but, Thursday will do. And, it was a great game for us. So.
How challenging was it for you guys having the COVID pause right around Christmas? I know obviously it's a great opportunity to get to go home and see family. What was it like for the team, dealing with it when you guys did?
It was tough. We knew that, first of all, we were going to miss games, but also just, personally, I don't want to get my family any sickness or anything like that. So it's, for those who couldn't really see their families, around Christmas time, it's tough, but thankfully it's over with and we're looking forward to the new year.
All right. So your pause is in the past. We're going to forget about that. We're going to talk about happier stuff. Pac-12 play starts for you guys coming up this weekend. How do you feel about your group right now? Obviously you're coming off the Final Four. You had preseason top 5 hype coming into the season, but we haven't really heard from you guys for a couple of weeks. So how are you feeling about this group right now?
Well, we feel good. We the 2 weeks gave us time to get Cody back, who was injured from the first game, and although we've been off, we've been working hard in practice and stuff, and people it might be quiet for us in people's eyes, but we're looking to turn heads and continue to play the way we're supposed to and win big games. So we're definitely excited for the upcoming Pac-12 play. We know we have a great league and a lot of great teams to play, so we're looking forward to it for sure.
How valuable do you think the experiences you guys had last year during your run in March, how valuable do you think they've been this year, especially given that it's the same group for the most part?
Yeah, I mean, one, it built a lot of camaraderie, and we have basically the same team this year, so we have this sort of cohesiveness that we carried from last year into this year. But it also taught us a lot of lessons. We were an 11 seed and we beat a lot of teams who were overhyped, or not overhyped, but people thought were better than us. And so just coming in with that mindset, we have a high ranking. We can't take anything for granted. We can't look past any team. So although it did bring us close together and we have basically the same team, it did teach us other lessons as well. So last year is very integral in our success and what we're going to continue to do this year.
Well, listen, Jules, we appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us here on the Field of 68 After Dark. Safe travels up to Cal, and best of luck heading into the Pac-12 season.